Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another vidIQ live stream. My name is Dan, and back again, once again, for our Wednesday Q&A live stream. Every week, we come at you with a topic, a point of interest, something that we as creators have been, curious about, talking about amongst ourselves. We bring you that conversation, and then we invite you to ask questions. And that portion of the live stream lasts a good long time. So while we're chatting today, please be sure you are writing down those questions. So once we get to the Q&A portion, you are ready to go. Thank you all for being here. There's already so many of you hanging out, and I've just put up a poll. I've asked you if you have a YouTube, specifically a YouTube New Year's resolution. I just want to see how many of you are already planning ahead, because that's what we're talking about today. We're midway through November in 2021, which, as I say that out loud, is kind of scary. And we're about to start all over again in January. Every year, people create different priorities that they would like to achieve. And the other poll I want to ask a little bit later, if I remember, is did you achieve your goals for 2020 or 2021, excuse me, that you set out to achieve? And we'll talk about it. So joining us first and foremost in the co-host hot seat today is Mr. Viper. How's it going?
What's up, people? What's going on? What's up, Dan? How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm really good. I just got myself another coffee, so things are going to be even better.
Yeah, you go.
Dude, how are you?
I am. You know what? Nothing. I was going to say I'm good, but I'm not good. I am not good, and I am not good because a lot of YouTube and what we do in creators is timeliness. And I made a timely video this morning. Like I heard the news about Apple and what they did with their right to repair. I rushed the video out. I was only beat by Renee Ritchie, and that's pretty good because Renee is he's an Android, so he's not always going to be first. But YouTube, for whatever reason, auto captioned my video in Dutch and it got buried. And I'm not happy about that. Other than that, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm okay.
Oh, no.
Bruh, it's evil. YouTube is evil sometimes, but I'm here.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I've never heard of that problem before. I'm really sorry that happened to you. And of course, this week's guest, they've been here before, a wealth of knowledge. Let's welcome Miss Desiree. How are you?
Hey guys, how's everyone going? That is the craziest story, Viper. Craziest.
Cool.
I'm chasing the relevant train myself. I have a video that comes out tonight that's like 10 best gifts for live streamers. And it's like fun live streaming gear that's not like standard like lights and cameras and stuff. I'm excited about it.
So that's actually really smart of you to do that in mid-November. I'm wondering how many people here who have holiday idea videos haven't gotten to those yet, because now is the time.
Well, yeah, because next week's Black Friday, so I'm trying to like get just enough ahead, but to still be relevant. Because I'm not talking about Black Friday deals and stuff. I'm like, these are just really good gifts. Whether you are a streamer or know someone is, these are the ones that you should be doing.
Absolutely. So I wanted to thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Got me always.
Yeah, just before we get started, everybody here should know that we are vidIQ. If you're new here, welcome. We don't just do live streams. We don't just make videos. We actually have a whole suite of tools that can help you grow on YouTube by giving you everything you need to know about your channel, about your competition, about just it's all about helping you research and come up with ideas. So if you haven't already, you can download vidIQ for free by going to vidIQ.com. And if you're somebody who is using it for the first time, we have 30 days free of vidIQ Boost. The link is down below, and you get our full suite of tools. That's everything we offer for 30 days free. Try it before you buy. So everything you need is down below. All right. With all that out of the way, maybe it's time we get into what we want to talk about. So Desiree, I always ask you before we do these live streams, like, hey, like what's the topic at hand? Is there anything specific you want to talk about? And you mentioned this idea of preparing for next year. Right now, you're deep into preparing for the holidays this year. But what sort of things are you doing to get ready for 2022?
So what I'm doing now is I'm creating content like for 2022. Like I know my audience real. December is my worst month. Like for real, nobody is interested in like social media growth tips in December. They're all like hyped up on like the holidays and traveling and doing fun stuff, ending it out, getting things done so that they can have time with their families and friends and stuff. So like my kind of content, it just does not do well in December, but I fly high through the first quarter, the whole first quarter. And I had my biggest like proof of concept last year. I did Vlogmas last year. So I did a video every day from the 1st to the 24th of December. It's all tutorials. It's all how to do things. It's all about growth and being awesome and like what you can do and tutorials and interface stuff. Again, even though I was making a video every day for 24 days, still the worst views I had for the entire year. Oh. But January, February, and March, like all of my views, like by March, my views had almost like doubled and a half by then. And it was all because that content I had spent time building at the start of the year. Now, that's very specific to my kind of content, which is like tutorials, how-tos, business, live streaming, like that kind of stuff. But I think that there's a lot of value in spending time with whatever y'all are doing and thinking like, okay, got my content. I hope you all have a content plan for December. I know some people are the fly by the seat of their pants types, which I respect and get as long as it gets done. But you need to know, like, what am I going to do at the start of the year? Like, how does it, like, so for video games, a lot of what you could probably do is like all these games came out like between October and December. You could be having a whole plan. Like, what am I going to do in January to stay relevant and hyped up through all of this? If you have something that you do that's like cooking related or budget related or family related or kids, like what do you do in January? What is your audience going through? Like, what does that look like from January and February? Is it about being budget conscious? Is it about planning? Is it about goal setting? Is it about, cleaning out all of the crap from your house because you just filled it with things from Christmas? We're on track for like the biggest Christmas buying season ever. And so it's just like, there's lots. You just have to really look and think, what is my viewer going through in January, February, and March that I can prepare for now and have a content plan for then.
What's interesting is that your channel, like you said, January, February, everything kicks off for you. And it makes sense. Like, so this is Desiree's channel. It's all on social media. Please check it out. Links is down below. And if you're looking to grow in social media, there's no better place. What I want to say is that it makes total sense to me because we're talking about just the question I asked everyone here in the poll. Like, are you coming with a New Year's resolution? And a lot of people do. They use the new year as that point where they're going to start something. And channels like yours, channels like ours, we do see that uptick. Whereas a gaming channel, like my personal channel, it's different. Right now is the season. All the games are coming out. Everything's happening right now. Come January, after everyone's already opened their Christmas presents and they've already played the crap out of their library, now they're getting on to some other things. That's when it slows down for people like me. So, but I still have my own goals in January as a creator. So I'm going to be taking the time to plan out my content, to figure out how am I going to, if January is going to be slow for me, does that mean I upload more? Does it mean I upload less? If I upload less, what am I going to do with the extra time? And these are all things that everyone should be kind of thinking about.
Yeah, and like I said, knowing your audience, like you and I have talked about this a lot because you have a gaming channel and I have this business focused channel. You were like in September and October, you were like, why are my views tanking when I upload a video? And it was, oh, my audience went back to school. Like it's like a very simple like thing that makes total sense once you know. And so by simply changing the time you released the video, it made a world of difference what you have going on. So when you know what your audience is going through in their life, it allows for you to create content appropriate, release things appropriately, and make sure that your marketing plans, all the things are just wrapped around that. That's why knowing your viewer is so vital to your success, not only on the platform, but also for like growth in business. Any thoughts, Viper? What are you going through? What does your audience do this time of year and in the start of the year?
So anybody who does tech content on YouTube knows that January is the month where tech goes to die. No one gives a care about tech in January. However, from right now to the end of the year, it is go time for a tech creator because there's a lot of products that were released back in October and November. We got to talk about those. We got to create buyer's guide, do these listicle videos with top 5 this, top 5 that, or best deals this, best deals that, because Black Friday is coming up, Christmas is coming up, all the holidays are here. So we are trying to create content to get to appease the spending consumer here who's looking for different tech gift ideas for the holiday season. So we're really trying to like make this mad dash towards the end of the year, trying to get all the content out on our various tech channel. But once January comes, here, you guys, some creators that would, some tech creators even take vacation starting in January because they know January is just not it. So that's the plan.
Is there not a way to like have like, okay, now that you bought this is like what you do with it guides or like?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too.
Have you already broke your new iPhone or your new Pixel 6 or whatever? best phone cases that none of y'all bought, or or apps to help you like with your goal setting or minimize usage. I don't know. Like I don't know what your viewers are going through, but that's just where my brain goes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of different content ideas for tech creators around this time of year, especially around this particular time of year, because like you said, people are buying stuff. They need to know how to use it, troubleshoot it, different things like that. So there's a lot of things that we are doing to get ready for the holidays.
Are you gonna just take January off?
No. I mean, the other thing, here's the cool thing about tech content in January. Even though January when tech goes to die, it allows a tech creator to come out and experiment with different things. Like right now, you won't really experiment because this is where we get the bulk of our traffic right now. So you want to go with ideas that are going to work right now. But in January, when nobody cares about tech, that's when you want to try to experiment with maybe new content ideas, or maybe do some things that you wouldn't try during the busy season because you don't want them to tank and things like that. So January is the experimental period. We're going to try some different ideas and see if we can do some different type of content that may resonate with a potential viewer. So other than that, we don't expect too much of January for tech. Not really.
So what are you gonna do, Dan? How do you get ready since everyone's bought all the games? Do you just do like playthroughs, how to find things?
It does come down to that. I think speaking generally, because I'm still keeping that channel pretty secret, but speaking just generally, what I would be doing as any gaming channel, I would be diving pretty deep into whatever game I was covering, or a series of games, whatever it is. I'd be, like you said, looking for different secrets, doing different things, maybe breaking the game in different ways, doing everything I can to either bring entertainment or a lot of just helpful tips and tricks and things like that. And then speculation as well, because even though all the updates are out, the games are out, what's happening in the gaming industry is that they're making the next iteration, or they're updating their games or whatever. So now is the time to sit down and speculate. Like, well, I play Minecraft and we just had this big update. So what's next? What's the next thing that's going to come out? Or there's these bugs, are they going to improve these? Are they going to fix these? Or do you think they're more focused on the next thing? So having conversations with your audience, like Viper said, it's a great time to test out content. When things are slow, it's not a bad time to sit down, because what was working is not anymore. So now's a good time to sit down and say, hey, like, well, if I'm going to have to start something new, let's try something new. Let's embrace it.
I got a proposal, y'all. Breaking news, got a proposal. If we can hit 2 million subscribers by the end of the year, can we get a channel reveal from Dan? Can Dan reveal his hidden channel? That's what I want to know. That's what the people want to know.
I think that's super fair.
I'm just saying.
We can do it, right? We can do it 6 weeks. We got this.
We won't make that bet.
You don't want
that confidence is just not there.
So that's how sure I am that we're gonna hit 2 million at vidIQ. Just easy,
Yeah, for real. So I loved your question too about like, have you reached your like YouTube goals for the year? I know I have not. My goal was to hit 30,000 subscribers end of year, and I will probably be 2,000 short. But my goal is hopefully next year to hit 50. So being super ambitious, but gotta go for the gold.
So 55% said yes, they do have a resolution, and 45% no. Said no. What should I? So those being the only two options, I assume everyone wants one if they don't have one already. So I'll end that poll. So it looks like almost half and half in terms of New Year's resolution for next year. Hopefully we can, by the end of this live stream, we can get that to 100%. All of you thinking about what you could be doing for next year. So now I am going to ask the question, did you meet your goals for 2021? And then we're going to say, yes, all of them. Only some of them. I wish we could be even more specific in these, but it is a poll. And then none of them. No, not a single goal. All right. So we're going to put this poll out there. Really curious to see what everyone has to say on that. So please go ahead and get your votes in, and we'll return to that in just a little bit. So some of the things we talked about prior to the live stream, Desiree, when it comes to channel preparedness, one of the things you like to talk about is opt-ins. And I did ask, what exactly do you mean? And you mentioned email opt-ins, so people getting on your mailing list. And not only that, but we also talked a little bit about memberships, like channel memberships. maybe as an alternative to that. So let's talk a little bit about how people can be preparing and getting that up and running.
Absolutely. So I am a big believer, since my YouTube channel is objective, like the reason my YouTube channel exists is to bring me leads to my agency. So I've run a social media marketing agency since 2015, and I put military spouses to work as social media managers. And when my military family got orders to move to South Korea, I needed a way to bring leads to my business while not living in the country so I could keep going with my mission. And so I knew like I needed, but views do not give me leads. I had to attach a way for people to be able to contact me and get interested in me and stay in touch with me so that I could convince them or talk to them or get to the sales call. And I did that through an opt-in. And I've had opt-ins almost since day one, where I'm offering different things to help people with their objectives that are related to my channel. So my channel is helping you grow your business with better social media and content marketing. And so I have a lot of opt-ins for like content planning worksheets and 50 videos every small business owner needs to make, and how to create 100 pieces of content a day like Gary Vee, and all of these different things that are related to the content I make that also are a little bit topical and also that I can always talk about in my videos. And I build my email list, and it's been slow. Like, it's not like I'm like it wasn't when I started like every day I had like 10 new subscribers to my list or anything. But now I live in a place where I will have anywhere from 10 to 20 opt-ins a day to my list with, I think I usually sit somewhere between 75 to 100,000 views a month. Right. And so that's my, and now my list is like 14,000, almost 15,000 people right now. I talk to those people every week. Like, they know what they're getting into. I have these conversations and I get leads. Like, I just got a lead into my inbox right before our live stream today. And I know that they came from my YouTube channel because it's all tracked that way. So that's why I do. So I have an opt-in. And so the question I get asked a lot in tandem with it, because even though I talk to a lot of business owners, not everybody on YouTube is talking about business. So how do they have an opt-in? I know that even Rob and I have talked about this, like what would an opt-in like for vidIQ or for like a gaming channel or a tech channel? So you have to figure out like what is it that you can give to people that's too good to be free that they can get onto an email list for. But maybe it is for basically just updates. Maybe Viper has like some super secret awesome connection to get like discount codes on tech or whatever, or 10 things everyone who has a smartphone needs to do to keep it safe, or like something like that kind of a thing. Or, you know, Dan, maybe you have like get notified when my latest episodes come out so you never miss them. And you know, that's why they do it. But what I loved about what we talked about before this, to pivot from like building out an email list and having a way to contact people beyond YouTube, I love to talk about the membership, because getting people into a membership, I think, is just as equally valuable, because I don't think every channel makes sense for an opt-in, especially the more time I spend with the vidIQ team. Like, if you're doing something in entertainment, you're doing something in gaming, it's in comedy, it's harder. It doesn't make sense. But a membership, you have something to offer at a low cost, and it really helps you having a way to communicate off of YouTube and directly with your viewers, and also get financial support from them so they get that preferential treatment.
Yeah, we talk about that quite a bit, and it's memberships. Memberships are one of those things, like an email list. I imagine anything you want to make sure it's scalable. You want to make sure that you're inviting people to this thing, and whatever extra work you're putting on yourself, it's something that isn't going to take any more of your time, depending on how many members you get. That's what we mean by scalable. So if you make a membership, we've talked to a few creators that have done this in the past. They've made a membership program where one reward was like, I will write your name on this card, like in this really fancy way, and like send it to you, or I'll make some kind of art thing. Like a lot of Twitch streamers have like a wall, and they'll like put up something for each new subscriber. And at first, it's great. It's like, wow, a lot of people are giving me money. This is awesome. And then it takes off, and suddenly you run out of wall, and you know your hands are cramping. And so that's one of the things when it comes to memberships that I always stress is like, make sure whatever you do, if you had, it's the difference between 1 member and 100 members. It does not equal any more hours of your time by the end of it.
I'm new to memberships. I've tried them different ways. I recently like added in like the membership feature with my YouTube channel, and I'm offering like free content reviews for people that join. And so, because you know, a lot of people can make their own content, but is it any good? So I'm here to like help them. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I figured I would tie the two together. But it's really based on like what kind of community you're building and what value you can offer. There's so many great ones. Like one of my favorite memberships I've seen is with Shannon, who's snubbed. She does like security content on YouTube. It's her whole thing's about. She has this really great membership that's allowed for her to like. It's replaced her income. It pays for her like life, her mortgage, because all these people just give her little bits of money, and she helps them with security. And she has all these exclusive things. And one of the fun like add-ons she gives are these stickers based on funny things that she said. Another one that does a great job is Emily Baker with the Law Nerds. Like her community is massively awesome, and she does so many fun, great things with them. And has so much great content, which is amazing to me because she does so much content on her YouTube channel as it is. So how she offers all the extras, I'll never know. That woman's a machine. So, I mean, it's just all about like what you can offer. But the important thing is in all of it is that you have to have an objective with YouTube beyond views and making money like with AdSense and stuff, which is what so many people do to get started. You have to be able to know that from day one of your YouTube channel, at some point, if you do it right, and I hope you are because you're here, you're going to become a business, and it's going to be a revenue stream, whether it's a side hustle or it becomes full-time for you. You have to have that professional, like way to talk to your people beyond this platform. Like we have 1 million subscribers here on vidIQ, and I bet every video we post, not all 1 million people know about it every time that it happens. And so it's like, but if you have an email list and people that are watching you and a percentage of them watch, and you let them know, hey, we're going live at this time in an email that they've chosen to be a part of, more than likely, more people will watch your videos and come join your content in your community because of that relationship and because they've had the notification to know, oh yeah, this person I like and care about, and I'm seeing their content versus hoping YouTube will put it in front of people.
Yeah, when someone signs up for your mailing list, that's like not just a fan. That's like a super fan. That's somebody who they are involved. They want to be involved in everything you're doing. They want to know when you're going live. They want the new content. They want the extras. And a lot of channels here could probably benefit from this. And they may not even be thinking about it. This may not have ever crossed anyone's mind. Like maybe you could give some really quick like tips for how to get started, or a resource that you point to.
Oh, 100%. So if you're building an email list, best place to start is ConvertKit. ConvertKit is a platform for creative people. So creatives, artists, musicians, it's unimaginably easy to use interface that allows for you to segment your list easy, create landing pages, which is like where you put your name and your email so they can collect that information, and allows you to send emails very easily to the people that you're on. It has very easy to understand and use metrics. I've used a ton of email marketing in my 12 years of doing this. Well, like I've used Infusionsoft, I've used Constant Contact, MailChimp, ConvertKit is where I go. And they have a free account. I think they have like a free up to 1,000 subscribers that you could do with ConvertKit. That's really fantastic. And it makes it easy. And I said email, landing pages, all in one place. And so I highly suggest starting there. And then when you're trying to figure out like, what is it that I need to create from an email to people? And it's like, I always tell people, what's your too good to be free offer? What is something that you can get to people that, I can't believe that they're giving this to me for free. Like, this is so great. But it also needs to be something you can always talk about. You always have to build it up no matter what you're doing. So for me, I'm always talking about social media and content marketing. I'm talking whether I'm doing a Facebook tutorial or I'm deep diving into like how to use LinkedIn for this or Facebook ads. I always come back and I say, no matter what you're doing on social media, you have to have a content plan. So go grab my free content planning worksheet down in the description below. Very simple. And I do it near the beginning of my videos. So that's when I have my highest retention and I move forward. So again, like for something like Viper, no matter what your tech is, you're going to need this checklist to make sure that it stays safe and secure. Like whether that's actually what he did, I have no idea. But you can make it sort of general and related to it. Now, if you're trying to build a membership, so we have a plan, like that's what you do with the opt-in. It's very simple. Well, I guess if we were at a third tip, it would be then you need to communicate with them on a regular basis. That way they know you're there. They know what to expect from you. And it doesn't become this like all of a sudden, who are you? They forget about you. Stay in contact with them on a weekly or bi-monthly basis. If you're doing something like an entertainment, like comedy, entertainment, gaming, all that kind of stuff, that's, I think, like when the membership piece, it would be the valuable place to start. And when it comes to that, I think you just have to be able to have a reason in your video as to why people should join the membership. And I think a lot of the things that people tend to say are, it helps me continue to create this content because it takes time, effort, and love. And, you know, nothing's more, you know, value and what is it? Money and time go hand in hand.
Mhm.
And then also you get what they get for it. You get exclusive access to me, or you get to watch videos beforehand. We have a private vlog. We're going to do a monthly members only live stream, like whatever that is in your community, what they would care about, put that in there, and then have your different levels. I think 1 to 3. So like 1 is your basic that I can join for like $2 to $5. Your middle ground one is going to be your $5 to $20, and then you have your higher end one, which is going to be like your $20 to $50 memberships. And it's based on the different levels, and you have to do it. The thing you have to pair with the membership is you have to have a place to talk to them. All right. A lot of people, and I've gone through plenty of different YouTubers on the space who have the membership thing turned on. They're not doing anything with it. Like Marcus Brown, Amy Landino, they have Tim Schmoyer, they have these memberships up. They're not doing anything with them. Like they're just join, support, not like get anything for it. Then you have other creators who have like, you know, like Snubs and Law Nerd, where they have these places like through Patreon or Facebook and stuff where they build, and Nick Nimmin has it as well, where like you join and then you have instructions on where you go to build it out. Whether you're using the YouTube membership platform or something like Patreon, you just have to pick a home for your membership to live, because that's the place where you will communicate with your members, and they know what to expect from you in those spaces. And you want to make sure whatever you pick is relevant to your audience.
Yeah.
I don't think that if I was to have a gaming membership, I would have like a private Facebook group. But I think that, but I would definitely have something I do on Patreon, and I would have like a members only stream, and I would use the community tab within YouTube for that. If I was to have, you know, a different demographic, like for mine, I use Facebook groups because I have an older demographic that uses Facebook a lot, right? So it's just finding that right home for your membership.
This is something that just popped in my head as you were going through all that, and I'm thinking about, well, like what would I tell a gaming channel or any channel really, like if they were like, I want to do membership, I don't know what to offer. The easiest one to me, and I say easiest lightly, is extra content, exclusive content. And you did allude to that, live streams, videos, and YouTube has a built-in system where you can make exclusive content for members, and if people try and share it outside the group, it just doesn't work. So you're protected in that regard. I have tested this. I did exclusive community posts though. So your community post can be given just to members, and you can even separate it by tier. And I was showing some behind the scenes stuff that what was cool about it was that I knew the general audience wouldn't really care too much, but the members, the people who are that dedicated to actually like opt into my membership program, they would be interested in some of this stuff. And so I got a lot of positive feedback from that. And again, it didn't take too much extra time. And it is scalable because, excuse me, no matter how many members I got, it was just a post that was going out or a video or whatever it might be. The thing I would caution with that is to limit the amount you do, because every time you make a video for your members, that's time you took not making a video for the general audience, which could in turn get you more members. So you need a balance. It's all about balance. It's all about what are you doing in your life, like not just YouTube, outside of YouTube. Like, do you have the time to dedicate to it? But I would say the most obvious thing anyone could do with a membership program is exclusive extra content, bonus content for them.
I'll say another good low hanging fruit is discounts on your merchandise. A lot of people that have unlocked that, it's a very easy thing, like for like a $1.99 to $4.99 sort of price point. Support the channel, get these special stickers, and get discounts on my merch. Like that's a super easy one, but obviously you have to have merch in place. But that's a one-time sort of investment in time, and then it's just available for your audience whenever they want it.
I would encourage people, if you're thinking about merch, go out, and there are artists out there you can commission, and go out and talk to some to try and figure out, hey, like I'm thinking of creating some merch for my channel. Find somebody you like. But be sure when you're going through that process, one of the things I learned from some creators I talked to is that you need to make sure it's understood up front what the licensing agreement is on that. You don't want to say, hey, can you make me a design? And then without permission, you plaster on t-shirts and sell it, because that's a whole different thing. Make sure there's an agreement in place. But that was just another tip that popped in my head as you said that. I think that was something I didn't get into any trouble or anything, but something I learned. I'm like, I never thought of that. Yeah, you can't just get a design. you need to get the proper permissions, and it's going to cost something different because it's for profit now. You're redistributing it.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things always to consider whenever you're doing anything. Is this a time commitment you can commit to? Is this something that you can actually do? Like, you're gonna start a membership and promise through like a weekly behind the scenes video, you have to commit to that. You can't let your audience down and just offer it but not like follow through, because it's a point of integrity, and also people will leave because they're not getting what they're paying for, and that could hurt you in other parts. So, well, this person doesn't hold up to what they say they're going to do, and you lose views. It becomes a whole situation. So that's important to remember as well, that you follow through with what you're going to offer. I also think that there's a lot to be said too with your memberships. It's like you just have to know you have to be present. When you're building a community, it requires time. And I know that we all put a lot of time into our YouTube channel, but you have to be present on your community. You have to be active. You have to be asking questions. You have to be showing up in all of the comments. You have to be there for people, because people are investing in you as an individual. It's one thing for them to watch your YouTube videos and comments. Another thing for them to pay you money to have access to you. And you have to make sure that you are ready for that, and that you are able to give it that commitment and have that open dialogue and conversation of expectations with your members. You kind of got to think your members like your customers. Like, that's exactly like what they become, but it's just I feel like a little bit more of an intimate relationship.
I love how you talked about being present for your community. And I always talk about this a lot, especially as it relates to building a community. And we know that one of the features that YouTube gives to us as creators is premieres. Would you believe me if I told you all that some creators actually do premieres and don't show up for them? Like, what are you doing? If you're doing a premiere, the whole point of doing the premiere is to be there so you could be an active part of that premiere with your audience. Like, they expect you to be there if you are premiering a video. So if you premiere a video and you're not there, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing a premiere. So if you're a creator and you're thinking about doing a premiere on YouTube, please be there when the premiere goes live. Thank you very much.
I like the PSA. It's kind of like you wouldn't do a live stream without being at your desk. It's kind of the same thing.
You can do those pre-recorded live streams now. You don't have to show up.
It's true, but it's kind of the whole thing. You can air a video on your channel, and you don't need to be there. No one expects you to be. But if you premiere it, you expect the creator to be showing up. You've just created an event. So you do expect that. Speaking of events too, and on similar to the same thing we're talking about, as you're building your memberships, your email lists, talking to people outside of YouTube, Discord just launched a new feature called Events. And this can be used to actually tell your audience on Discord, like, hey, this video is going live. I'm going live. It's another place. And as we're talking about events, that just kind of popped in my head. Like, if you had a funnel to get people from YouTube to your membership community, your email list, whatever, for gaming channels, Discords, it's just another tool in your tool belt now for communicating with them and, helping retain that audience and that connection. It's pretty cool. I just wanted to give that a shout out. So one of the other things we talked a lot about, Desiree, you did mention you wanted to talk about money plans, things like that, and we can go deeper on that. We did just talk a lot about that.
I love talking about money.
Yeah. So what else with regards to planning for next year? What kind of do you have in mind there?
I think when it comes to with the YouTube channel, so we've talked about, memberships as a way to build community, and there's a revenue model that you can attach to it. We talked about opt-ins, so you have a way to communicate with your audience beyond YouTube. And of course, earlier we talked about having a content plan, thinking through like, what is it that I need to create based on what my viewers going through at certain times through end of year and into Q1 for 2022. When it comes to money, I think that it is a very important thing to talk about. So many people go down to YouTube and they talk about YouTube and they educate about YouTube. Like, it's something you have to love to do. It's something that you have to be really passionate about it. Like, and don't do it for the money. If you got on YouTube for the money, you're doing this for all the wrong reasons. Y'all, I got onto YouTube for the money because I need to have leads to my agency. I don't talk about, I'm not getting onto my soapbox and say, you guys should all go and work with me and my social media team because we want to get paid and we need to pay military spouses and all. I'm not doing that. Like, obviously the content I'm creating is to help my community that supports my business. You need to make sure that you have financial goals attached to YouTube. One of the awesomest, coolest, most unique things about YouTube is that it is unlike any job any of us have ever heard of ever. I grew up a 90s kid. I'm a tried and true millennial, and I grew up with the, like, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, and you stay there for 40 years, and you die. Like, that was what we were raised to do. And that is literally up until 2017 when I got onto YouTube. Like, that was still my objective. And I've been a social media marketer since 2009, and I've had my business, and like how I've made money was an exchange of time for money. I did work for businesses, and they gave me money for it. Like, it was still that sort of an exchange. But being on YouTube, being a creator, there's so many financial opportunities that are attached to it that I never was aware of. I wrote a book in COVID called Start, Suck, Get Better. And there's a chapter, and I talk about how in 2020, I made $30,000 of passive income from YouTube. At the time, I had something like 15,000 subscribers, like that, and like nothing crazy. I wasn't, and I still had my agency. I was taking care of my family. Like, it was all these things, and it was just from sponsorships and affiliate marketing and AdSense and these things that you do. You, by creating content on YouTube and getting to certain points in the platform, there's money. Like, if you get 1,000 subscribers, if you qualify for monetization, you can make money. It might be like $100, but that's extra money, right? Yeah. Like, that is a way for you to make a living. So now you have to look like, the reason to share the story is I want you to ask yourselves and make a plan. What other ways can I add revenue to my YouTube channel that can come from my YouTube channel for me in 2022? And I want to challenge you to think beyond sponsorships and AdSense.
All right. Wait.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Viper. I'm ready.
Okay. Let's back that up a little bit, because I love how you just asked that question, because a lot of creators, when they think about making money on YouTube, they think about the 1,000 subscribers, the $4,000 of watch time, being part of the YouTube partner program to get their channel monetized. But as Desiree just alluded to, there are so many other ways to make money with your YouTube channel that has really nothing to do with your YouTube channel per se. You can make money off affiliate marketing, sponsorship, merchandise. YouTube now has, like we talked about earlier, they have memberships now. You can enable that. Or you can have a Patreon set up, or you can do other things. You can be present on other platforms as well, because that's the other thing that a lot of creators don't think about. They're so singularly focused on YouTube. But what if I told you you could make money off of other platforms not named YouTube? And Vibrant didn't prove, because Vibrant made all the money off of other platforms not named YouTube this year. So I'm telling you, I've done the thing. I have done it. So if I can do it, you can do it. So
there's so many ways to make money. I got reached out by this company called BioClips. And what they do is they are an education platform globally that focuses on like universities and corporations, and they need educational content to sell to people. And I have a whole YouTube channel around social media education. And they're like, our members have expressed an interest in your kind of content. We want to literally take the YouTube videos you already have, remove the YouTube pieces, and we want to sell them using the content I already have, and they're going to do all the work. And it's a profit share. I'm like, sure. Read the contract, super legit. I'm like, let's see how this goes. Like, they're like, you can, it's syndication. Like, you guys, every video you've made, once you made a video, welcome to being your own media company. You are the next ABC, CBS, NBC, ESPN, Disney Channel, whatever it may be. That is what you are now, on a small scale of some kind. You can syndicate your content. You can run commercials for your products. You can make money with partnerships and doing all these other things. You have so many opportunities. And the fact that, and I love, I don't want to say I love the financial opportunities, but you just don't know about them. You don't learn about them. There's not this big book that's like, when you become a YouTuber, these are all of your financial opportunities. And like, there's like a list, like, like a 50s style cartoon commercial or something. Like, there's just so many amazing opportunities beyond the obvious ones, beyond AdSense, beyond merchandise, beyond memberships. The opportunities are endless. And that's why I challenge you. Use this time to research. How are people making money? And then how can you reasonably do it too in your own unique way, with your own unique offering, with what you have to do. Like, and if you are only making money off of AdSense, or you're not making money yet, ask yourselves, okay, what are the simple things I need to do to hit some mile markers? How do I get to AdSense? How do I get to a membership? What can I offer a community? What does that look like?
Hey, Desiree.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, if you had to estimate right now, how much would you say the creator economy is worth right now?
Oh, easily over like $5 billion.
Did y'all hear that? 5 billion, man.
Yeah. That's more money than Oprah.
And she forgot to mention it's growing. It's growing, you all.
It is
going up.
One of my, if you guys, besides this podcast, this show, and the podcast that we do with vidIQ, and of course, Women of YouTube podcast, because that's my podcast, so that we do together, I highly encourage all of y'all to check out Colin and Samir.
Yes.
I have been following Colin and Samir since like 2018. Those guys have been on a journey, and it's an amazing journey, but now they are the leaders in the creator economy, like basically news. They're a news forum for the creator economy, and they talk about everything. And there's like they do this great email called Publish Press. They release an email every week, twice a week, and it has just what's happening in the creator economy, like what big creators are doing and not doing, what's happening with NFTs, what's happening with TikTok, what's happening with Instagram, all these different news sources and articles, and they give their own like interpretation of what this means for the creator economy and how it's going to help you and how it's going to grow. It's amazing. Like it's an insight into this world that you never know. So if you don't know about your opportunities, that's a fantastic place to start, because they're going to give you 2 emails filled with ideas every week. They're a fantastic resource. Another great one to check out and to subscribe to is Tube Filter. TUBE, like YouTube. They're a news source for all things that happen in video and YouTube and the creator economy. It's another fantastic resource that, again, delivers an email into your inbox. It gives you information of what to read and what you should do there. And it's so unimaginably helpful. It keeps you up to date what's happening in the industry, so you can see what's happening around you, so that you can either adjust or figure out how you can do that too.
Those are really great resources. I vouch for everything you just said, because absolutely. There's some interesting comments. We're not in the Q&A yet, but we are going to start taking your questions here in a second. I don't really have questions, but just some interesting things that like 2 back to back here that I want to touch on. So one person said, but what I don't understand is, how do super small channels make enough money to pay the bills? My quick answer to this would be, if you're a really small channel and you're still growing, you probably won't make enough money to pay the bills. It kind of depends on what you're doing, but this is why you subscribe to these resources. This is why you dive into this stuff and start understanding it now, because it all plays into growth. And then you start to realize that there's building blocks. You can't start a YouTube channel, turn the key, and then there's like a money faucet that comes in. It just starts pouring money on you. It's not how it works.
Damn it, Dan! Come on.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bust that myth.
Some bubbles, man.
I just ruined a lot of people's spirit there. But
I have a great way to look at this.
Okay.
I want you guys to think about the first job you ever had. Bryfer, what was your first job that paid you a W-2 job?
Probably a newspaper boy, I think.
Okay, what was yours, Dan?
I made food.
I was a swim teacher in high school because I was a swimmer. Okay, that was my first job, and I wanted to see, how good were you on your first day of that job?
Well, I was the best, but no, terrible. I almost got fired.
Right? Yeah. What about you, Viper? Were you any good?
I mean, as good as a guy could be tossing papers.
Right? I had no idea what I was doing. I was a 16-year-old dealing with other people's children, and I was like, why won't they stop crying and screaming? And like, I would like, hey, let's go underwater and hold our breath, so I didn't have to hear it. Like, that was like my realm. I was terrible. I was terrible. I wasn't drowning them. We would go underwater together. We'd breathe some bubbles, and we'd come up. Like, it was just one of those things. It's one of those things. It's like, you were terrible at it. And you got paid crap for it at the same time, right? And so it's kind of those things, like, there's a reason, but that job taught you something, and it allowed for you to parlay it into your next crappy job, and then to your maybe not so crappy job, and then to like the next, and then you're like, okay, this is my first like career job, like, we're air quoting career here, right? My first job with my bachelor's degree was I did I have a bachelor's degree in multimedia art and animation. I wanted to be an animator for Disney and Pixar. And my first job was doing 3D renderings of landscape designs.
Wow.
That was it. I did it for 60 days and the company went under because they lost funding because this is the start of the recession, right? So that was but it was this crappy job. And I learned all these things about the kind of managers I don't want and what I don't want to deal with, what kind of environments I didn't want to work in, and the things I should look for companies that are going to go under. Like there's just these kinds of things to figure out. You have to look at YouTube like that too. When you are starting on YouTube, you don't know ish. I don't care how much vidIQ and Nick Nimmin you watch. You're not going to know how to do that yet. You're supposed to create 100 bad videos and then look at them and tell me, okay, what did I do right and what did I do wrong? And how can I make my next 100 a little bit better than my first 100? You're not going to be good at this. However, what you can do from day one of your YouTube channel is build an email list. You can't build a membership. You can't get sponsors. You can build an email list. And from that, then you can build something out that will make you money later. I did that my first it took me 18 months to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then it took me an additional 2 months to get monetized. All right. But you don't think in that month and a half, I didn't get any leads to my agency? You didn't think I wasn't trying to figure out ways to make some money with Amazon affiliate dollars? Because in that 18 months, I learned about the creator economy. I learned about what it meant to be a creator, what it was like to be on YouTube. I found vidIQ and the Roberto Blakes and my other, fellow women creators who were doing stuff. You can do it. You're supposed to suck when you start.
Everybody.
And then you're going to get better. Of one video at a time. Just like at any job you have, you get better day by day by day.
I'm sorry. We have to go back because baby Desiree answered to crying babies and to baptize them, y'all. This is what she
I'm a way better mom now. I'm a way better mom, I promise.
See, and Desiree learned from that experience.
It did.
I want to say, if you were to build a mailing list day one on your channel, you start building that. Imagine as you build influence, and then you do start talking to potential sponsors of your channel. That's one more tool in your tool belt that so many creators don't have. Not only do I have this YouTube channel potential sponsor, but I also have 4,000 people on my mailing list.
Right.
And suddenly you have another chip in your hands at the negotiating table.
Yeah, because what happens when you don't know what you're doing, and then once you figure something out and you want to try something, you have something to sell, you have merch to sell, or you have a product you want to try out, you have a book that you're doing, you finally get that first sponsor, and you can email your list about this new sponsor you have and this great affiliate percentage deal. Having an email list is a fantastic tool in your arsenal to get you more money, because it's one thing to create a video about how to use vidIQ when you're a vidIQ affiliate. It's another thing to create a video and then send it to 4,000 people who watch the video and then sign up for vidIQ. Totally different story. And then you bet if vidIQ was who is this Desiree chick in this vidIQ thing that she's doing? And why is they getting us so much signups? And then you get their attention. And then they're like, well, we want you to come create for us. I'm like, well, here's my fee. These are how those conversations happen.
There's another comment I wanted to point to, because on the subject of building blocks, somebody just after that comment said, I had someone offer me a few free products for a good review. I said no. Now, if someone offers you free products for a good review and saying no, I'm not judging that at all. That's probably the right call, especially if you don't believe in the products. What I will say, though, is there will come a time where if you're trying to build up a channel, in certain niches anyway, where you might find yourself doing something for free. And that can be part of the process. It really depends on the exchange. It's going to vary case by case, but I would say outright saying no to those opportunities. Just be a little careful. Think about these things, because if you've had no sponsors, if you've had no affiliate sales to show it, and you're just starting out, but you're right at that point where you're just building up influence, it's okay to do something for a company and for exchange for free product. Gaming creators deal with this all the time. Developers will contact them and say, do you want to play my game in your channel? I'll give you a free copy of the game. And as long as you're tracking that, get a trackable link in your description, you can download the game below, and then suddenly you're building data. And now when you do start getting into those conversations about making money, you could say, well, I did a video on this game and I got 10,000 downloads on it,
Yeah,
from my link.
Basically, you're building out a case study.
Yes.
And so you want to find a product that would be really good for your audience, that you think is aligned with what your target demographic is going to watch, maybe like a popular video on your channel, that you can almost kind of like, I don't want to say guarantee success, but that you have a really good feeling about, like, this is a good product my audience will like. And then it becomes a case study for you, because case studies are hugely important for sponsors. You have to remember that we do live in a creator economy. So while a lot of companies are used to like Instagram people and posting that way, the YouTube thing is a totally different world. And so if you want to be able to make $1,000, $10,000 later, you want to be able to have a way, when you have less than 1,000 subscribers, be able to go to them and say, hey, this is what I did for this channel. This is what the clicks were on this link. This is what, their sales were. Here's a testimonial from these people that I can share with you. I'd love to work with you, and here's my fee for this. And you can kind of build up. Like, so maybe what you do is you start with like, this is the fee for me to create this video, because this is how much time it takes for me to do this. And this just covers that cost. And then the next thing, and I also want an affiliate. The next thing that you can do is like, well, here's my cost for this, and I want an affiliate for this. And it's like, whether it's a bonus in addition to your cost to get things done. I also would like to point out, for like my channel, which is an education-based channel, I got my sponsorship with StreamYard because I was the only one talking about StreamYard, which is probably really ironic for a lot of people, because they're like, everyone talks about StreamYard. Everyone uses StreamYard. Like, yeah, I know they do. You're welcome. Right? It's one of those things. I made a video, I want to say in like October or November of 2019. And I did a series. It was like how to go live for your business. And I talked about different platforms. I talked about how to go live and why it works. Well, in March of 2020, everyone needed to go live and have a way to talk to people. And whose video showed up? Because nobody else had one. Not even StreamYard at the time had videos on how to go live on StreamYard for their YouTube channel. So my videos outperformed StreamYard's videos. And so I did a follow-up series with like how to do things on YouTube. I did a video every day for 7 days. I was like, how to do overlays, how to add in video, like how to use specific features. And I used those, and I added a StreamYard specific download to it. Get free overlays to level up your live streams. Every single video had that opt-in call out to it. And from the video series, I not only created a StreamYard only email list of 6,000 people. I had over 250,000 views on my YouTube channel. I took the data and I went to StreamYard and I said, I would like to work with you guys as a paid ambassador. And they were like, yes.
So I want to go back to something we were talking about earlier about working for free. I think a lot of creators, a lot of new creators, I'm not going to say established creators, because once you're established, you play in a different realm. But a lot of new creators are against the idea of working for free. And I don't know exactly why, because you have nobody worth to prove why somebody should pay you. So you should not be turning your nose up at the idea of working for free when you're just starting out. Because here's the cool thing. If you are willing to work for free and you can prove your value to a brand working for free, guess what happens later on down the line?
That same brand will
pay you.
That same brand will come pay you money.
Pay you money. So don't be so against working for free, because that might lead to paid opportunities down the line. Thank you very much.
Don't let people take advantage of you, though. It can happen. I mean, it's easy to get lost in that.
It's why you have to track your data. Like, do some stuff for free. And then establish a base of pay based on how long it takes you to make something, and give yourself an hourly rate. And that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's how you do it. Because otherwise you're just going to continue to be the person people go to do stuff for free. And then they expect it. And then it just lowers your quality and standards. It makes you frustrated and crazy because you're not also making money from it. So this is, I mean, to tie it back into what we like to circle way back to what we were talking about, which is getting ready for 2022. Again, with all this information, with all these talks, all these questions answered, I want you to take this time and ask yourself, what can I do in 2022 to add new revenue streams to my channel that have nothing to do with AdSense, and maybe even say it has nothing to do with membership? what can you do to bring new money to yourself?
So earlier our poll, did you meet your goal for 2021? I should have said goals, but 24% said yes, all of them. 48%, the largest segment, said only some of them, which I'm not too surprised by. And then 28% said no, not a single goal was met, which is a shame.
You know, sometimes the best laid plan go to where, so it happens. Just you ready for
a lot of life can happen. A lot of life happens.
So. Oh yeah,
it's
all right,
true.
Dan. I think it's time we start answering some questions, sir.
Are we ready to start answering some questions?
I think the people are getting antsy.
I have one I'd like to start with. Okay, so the Grim Survivalist asked me, how do you determine your hourly rate? And I was about to type something up, but now I can just answer it. Okay, here's my suggestion for how you determine your hourly rate. First, research your industry and find out what is it that what is it that most people make on average, the median amount that people make. Second of all, look at like your current job and how much do you make there. And then I would honestly kind of start playing with it. But like when I started out in my freelance days, like 2009, baby Desiree, I charged $10 an hour for graphic design work. It was like barely above minimum wage at that time. And people would still tell me it was too expensive. And so then I just started to like, okay, then I got this other job when I was still trying to figure out before I went full freelance. What was that? That was my new hourly rate. And then it just gradually went up from there and there. Now, when everyone wants to work with me, I have a consulting fee of $197 a month for a 50-minute call. For $197, you can ask me whatever you want. We'll work through an issue that you're having with your business. And then I have the rate for my agency that we use as an average, which is $85 an hour. And it covers usually like different fees, like myself and the team. And that's a different thing because I can work more than 40 hours a week because I have a team, right? So I'm able to kind of apply that method to it. And I learned that method from looking at people who invoiced for legal services. So there's a reason people charge $350 an hour in legal services because you're paying for the lawyer, you're paying for the different members of the team that take care of things to get things happening. So it's kind of like that sort of mentality. So that's my suggestion to you to figure out what your hourly rate was. What's really great about this, and this is another way I figured this out, is I put a value on my time with everything I'm doing. Everything from doing consulting to washing my dishes. And I'm like, okay, how much would it cost me to pay someone to do this? Or how much would it cost me if I had to do it? Because that's something I'm not making now. And that's why I do things like grocery pickup. I have a yard guy. I have someone that come clean my house once a month. Like I've had different services I've augmented because I'm like, by not doing it myself, which never gets done as well and always takes longer, I can pay someone to do it and use that same amount of time to go work on the thing that will make me money.
Yeah.
And I know that's a super bougie approach to it. And I fully own that privilege that I'm at. I've also been in business for 12 years. So I'm at that point where I can figure that part out and you guys can get there too. I am a huge believer, and I've been saying this for like a decade. Stop doing shit you hate. Put value on your time and do the things that bring you joy, and everything else you farm out.
The point of paying someone to come in and do stuff like that is to go out and use the time, like you said, to make more money. I mean, that if the calculus isn't right, then it's not the right time to get someone to clean your house once a month. If you feel like you're not going to make that money back with the time you save, I want to really quick touch on this question of hourly pay, because I think this is something I learned outside of YouTube. I was a freelance doing production work, video editing, things like that. And the one thing that I was careful to do after I learned the hard way was to stop charging my clients by the hour, because what that did is that as I got better at my craft, I was punished for being better. I wasn't making enough money because I would get better and faster at editing. The turnaround time would be quicker. And now I'm not doing working as many hours. Certain industries, hourly doesn't work too well. And so sit down and figure that out for yourself. It's going to be different for everybody, but charging a rate is in a lot of cases, especially when we're talking about the creator economy, like the way to go.
Yep. So again, it's the elevation. It's that process. Start here, then get to here.
Yeah. Hourly, like we all think hourly because like you said earlier, first jobs, right? We probably all got paid hourly for that. That's just the way a lot of those are paid out. But that does not have to be how you do it when you're working for yourself.
Nope.
No doubt. All right, Dan, I got one for you.
All right.
JT Gaming wants to know, what should you do if the game you're covering almost has no player base?
So you're covering a topic that does not have a lot of interest. For non-gaming channels, this is how to think about it. You got to find a topic that aligns with two things: your interest and interest of a community. If you're playing a game that you love and nobody else is playing that game, no one else is watching content around that game, then the ceiling for that success is very, very low, which means there's not a lot of people out there to feed that content to. There's no easy way to say that. That's just kind of the hard truth. YouTube, you need to do what you love on YouTube. I don't care who you are. If you're doing YouTube because you think YouTube equals money, I'm going to do whatever topic I can, that grows the fastest. That's when you're in it for the wrong reasons. You need to take your passion, take the thing you're the best at, and find a way to make content around that. Now, if that doesn't align with anything, I've used this example before. If you fix classic cars, like there's an interest in that. But if you fix one specific car and your channel is about, hey, if you own a Model T, this is how you can keep it on the road. That's the wrong target audience, because there's not a lot of people who own a Ford Model T. It's just a fact. So you need to be doing something on YouTube that appeals to a broader audience. The end.
Okay, let's see what else we got here.
All right, some of these questions are long, so forgive the silence as we...
Question, Dan. I have a YouTube channel on digital art, so what introduction should I keep?
Keep?
It says.
Okay, if we're talking about intros, I'll focus on that part of it. I don't like intros. I don't like, especially the animated ones with your name and lights dancing around the screen. Okay, thank you. So I would say get into the content as fast as you can. Don't spend too much time with the part where it's like, by the way, my name is Sue, and I do digital art all the time, so you should subscribe for my great digital art. Yesterday I did a digital art piece with this, I clicked on a title about a specific thing you were making, and you're still talking about why I should subscribe. Get into the content as quick as you can. There's always those little opportunities in the middle of the video to say, like, by the way, I do this all the time, so subscribe. And that's while your pencil's moving and you're still drawing something, find ways to keep your retention up. You do not want that giant drop off in the beginning of your content. Ooh, okay. This is an interesting one, Desiree.
Okay.
All right. How important is having a website for my channel from the beginning? If it's not important in the beginning, then should I ever set one up?
So I'm in digital marketing. I've been doing this for 12, almost 13 years now. Every single thing I do, and I tell my customers to do, and I've had hundreds, you have to have a website. You have to have a place to start. You have to place the people to have a base of information about you. It can be simple. It can be a straight up a GoDaddy template where they have your name and who you are and what you do. And that's just me. I've had a website since college that I used for my demo reel, which is a big deal. I graduated in 2007. This was a big deal. Not a lot of people had their portfolios online. I literally had to spend hours making DVDs to mail to companies to try and get a job. Right. But I had a website, and that was a big innovative thing. So I've had a website since 2006 that's about me, showcasing what I do. Because if anybody Googles me or wants to find out about me and what I have to offer and who I am, I want to make sure that they find me and that it's me controlling the narrative, not something else or someone else. And so I can't do, for me, I think having a website is like a requirement so that people have a way to contact you and get a hold of you. I can't tell you how many times I found a really cool YouTube channel because for those listening, I run the Women of YouTube podcast that we do in partnership with vidIQ. I'll come across these really great creators and I want to contact them to ask them to be on the show. And they don't have a website. And they don't have a way for me to get a hold of them so that we can like have a conversation or dialogue. And if I can't get a hold of them, that means that sponsors can't get a hold of them. That means that I feel like it's like money being left on the table when it could only cost you like, what, it's like $12 for a year for a .com. And then it's like a small additional fee if you want the templates that the website provider has for you to use. Like, it's a no-brainer to me. And I feel like it's a requirement and a standard so that people can always find you, always navigate to you, always contact you, and always learn about you. And then eventually you can build upon it. It's where your web merchandise can be. It's where your opt-ins can be. It's where you can join the membership. It's where sponsors can see stuff. Where you can put your sponsorship kit. Like for me, allinOneSocialMedia.com. For my agency, MrsDesireeRose.com. WomenOfYouTube.com. Like it's just what I do. It's how you find me.
All the .com, all of them.
all of the all of the.
Wait. I want to before we move on. I want to. Do you still have that up? Like,
I'll take it back. Let me try to refund it for you.
No, I have mine. I just want to make sure you don't lose this one.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So before we move on, I want to, because Jaybird, I noticed your name is Jaybird Plays Vintage Story, which is a game. I'm familiar with that game. So assuming you're a gaming channel, I'll tell you the mistake I made with my website when I had my first gaming channel. I thought for some reason that my viewers would care to go to that website, and that wasn't the case. But everything Desiree just said had one common theme, which was you're making a website as a gaming channel that's more of a portfolio of you as a creator. And that house everything, like basically this is your, if you had a cork bulletin board in your office where every time you had a successful thing happen, that's what this website is. But it's for all of your successes, everything about you as a creator. Because if Desiree wants someone like you on her podcast, now okay, here's this gaming channel. I want to know more about it and I want to interview them. I'm going to go to shirleycurry.com. Oh, crud. Shirley Curry doesn't have I don't know if Shirley has a website or not. But oh, crud. Shirley doesn't have a website. How am I supposed to contact Shirley Curry? And if the email isn't on the about section, what are you supposed to do? So think about it from that perspective. Think about it from a business perspective. You're not inviting your viewers to go to this website. Maybe in the future, like Desiree, you said, merch and things like that could live there. But at the start, it could be something you start to build slowly and you put yourself out there for business reasons, not necessarily, oh, I'm going to get more viewers with this website. That's not really the way to think about it at first.
Boom. All right. For the photos you in the chat, please stop spamming, because if you spam your question, it's going to get blanked out by the moderators, and then we won't see your question. So that's counterproductive to what you're trying to do anyway. So please stop spamming the question. Thank you very much.
If you guys ask your question, we tend to stop chat for a while, so it's totally fun to ask it once in a while. But just know that it may not get missed. We might actually have it frozen on the screen here. Well, Viper, when you go to the next one, I'll slow down chat.
Oh, good. So I want to tackle this one. So, hey, yo, time, LA Rams YouTuber wants to know, I recently got to 1,000 subs and had the 4,000 watch hours. These goals really help me work towards a goal. What is a good, realistic next goal? So here's what I will say about this. It seems like this is more mindset for you. And I want you to try to adjust to a different mindset, because your goals are centered towards numbers that are completely out of your control. Mm-hmm. And when you keep doing that, keep putting setting your sights on things that you can't control, it could lead to burnout. And if it doesn't go the way that you think it might go, then it's not a good look. So I would challenge you to focus on goals that are more realistic and, more importantly, are within your control. Like, how many times are you going to upload a week? Are you going to learn how to do a different type of editing, or are you going to try something different with your content? Things that are actually within your control. So I don't know what to tell you about what your next realistic goal should be. What I will say is that make it something that you can control and you alone, and don't put it on arbitrary numbers that are out of your control, because that a lot of creators do that, and that's not the best way to be. So focus on less on what you can't control and more on what you can control.
I also, again, if we're talking about numbers and stuff, maybe you put money goals in place. I think money goals are way better than YouTube goals, because like Viper said, there's no control over this. I can control how much money I make, though, because I can keep contacting people and keep offering things and talking to my list and just keep with my YouTube system. Two videos a week in a short. Like that's just part of my marketing. Like, I look at my YouTube channel like a marketing channel, not like where my business lives, and I can go find more business. So maybe try that instead.
Interesting one here. If I'm using hashtag Mr. Beast, does audience of Mr. Beast find my videos? No. If as a viewer of Mr. Beast, have you ever looked for Mr. Beast by searching hashtag Mr. Beast? It would be my question back to you.
I am not a viewer of Mr. Beast. I don't like it. I have a lot of feelings about this though.
I'm not going to say that this is necessarily your goal, right? You're not. I'm not accusing you of going out and trying to get their viewers. Maybe this was just a genuine curiosity, like what are hashtags even for, kind of thing. I genuinely don't really understand hashtags on YouTube. I think YouTube is still trying to figure that out for themselves, and using a hashtag like that isn't going to suddenly like amplify your videos. Like, oh wow, now this audience that I want to target is like seeing my content. If you want to target the audience that Mr. Beast has, then you would sit down and develop, well, who's the persona of this content? Who is Mr. Beast targeting with this kind of content? And then you would make content similar to it to also target that same demographic.
If you want Mr. Beast's audience, you need to fame hack Mr. Beast. And how you fame hack is you make a video with Mr. Beast in the title. So, like, again, to use Colin and Samir as an example, Colin and Samir has the like how Mr. Beast like spent like $10 million or last year or whatever. How Mr. Beast has no money. Like talking about those things, like where you can use their name in your title to have that kind of success, and that's how you can attract their audience. But I also think we don't need more Mr. Beasts. We need more yous. So
let me show this real quick here. Oh, is it not? Hold on. There we go. So this is the video in question. Colin Samir did an interview with Mr. Beast. They sat down with him. 3.2 million views. And this, I mean, highly recommend it if you want to look inside of how this all works with him.
Yeah, how Mr. Beast spent $48 million on a year. Like that was like, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of really great content they've done on Mr. Beast. And who's going to be attracted to this? Mr. Beast fans. So, and people who are just interested in the creator economy, because I mean, let's face it.
Well, and Colin and Samir, they're the perfect example of fame hacking. They're not just doing it with Mr. Beast. They're doing it with like the D'Amelios. They'll do it with Marcus Brown, like, because they're talking about creators the same way like TMZ talks about celebrities, right? So it's that same idea. You can fame hack. I have a video series about how to create 100 pieces of content like Gary Vee. Because Gary Vee has a video, and like Gary Vee content suggests that video all the time to people because people want to be like Gary Vee. So like that's how you can like fame hack that. So
yep.
I have a question. I have a question after we do Vipers.
Cool. So we have a question here. Since I made 3 to 15-minute videos, does the length of the video affect the algorithm? And do you think there is some limit of time small creators should shoot for? Your length of videos has nothing to do with your channel size. Just to get that out the way. The other thing I would say is that it doesn't really matter how long your videos are. I think that it's less to do with how long they are and more to do with how long you can keep a particular person watching whatever video that you make for however long it is. So if you make an 8-minute video, obviously YouTube would prefer you keep them watching that video for all 8 minutes, but that's just not realistic. You're not going to do that. So if you can keep that person on that video from 6 minutes or longer, that is the goal. Again, and even for smaller videos, if you make a 3-minute video, if you can keep the person there for maybe 2 minutes longer, then that's the goal. But the goal is not about how long the video is. The goal is for that particular video, you want to keep your viewer watching it for as long as possible because you want the maximum amount of retention possible on any given video. And that is independent of length. Length does not matter. What matters is how engaging the video is and can it keep a viewer's attention for the duration. So worry about retention, and I think you will have a lot of success with that.
Make your video no longer than it needs to be.
Yes.
For me, sometimes it's 30 seconds. I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. I'm not even, this is not shorts. I'm talking short form, 16:9 content that I do, 30 seconds long, plenty of views. The videos don't need to be any longer than that. The audience likes it that way. Can I do mid-rolls? No. That's okay.
I do tutorials, the same exact thing. I'm not trying to like pad a tutorial video. It's simple. Explain it. Get to the point. I tell people this: respect your viewer's time.
Yep.
Like your viewer is giving you their time. The one thing in this world you cannot buy more of or get more of. So value it and don't waste their time. So I had one that was tutorial mags. Question is it a good idea to have multiple social media channels if you're just starting out on YouTube? So I picked this one obviously because it's my jam. I think that there's two approaches to this. You should pick, the first one is pick one platform and get really, really good at it, and then add on more. My second one to counter that is if you can build social platforms well, then they can support your YouTube channel. So like a really good one would be Twitter, and a good one would be in TikTok. I think Instagram is a shit show when you're a YouTuber. I can grow a YouTube channel. I cannot freaking figure out what the stupid Instagram algorithm is. I blame Facebook for that. So I think that that's how you can support those, by sharing your content. But you have to know, if you're going to commit to a social network, you have to commit to creating on it. You can't just haphazardly do it, or only just use as a place to dump your links. They'll tell people to go watch you on YouTube. As a social media manager, you have to also be creating content specific for the platform that is going to plays by the platform's rules, so that you can have success there.
Sidebar.
Yes.
So if you are building a business,
Mm-hmm.
then yes, you want to get whatever your handle is that you want to get that on every social media platform that you can get it on. I'm not talking about making content on the platform. I'm talking about grabbing the handle. So like Viper, yes. I want Viper on every platform that I can get it on, because I don't want somebody taking the Viper name from me, because people will do that because people are funny that way. So if you're thinking about doing it seriously, then yeah, you might want to go on every social media platform out there and grab your handle, so you won't have no issue getting it when you go big. So yeah.
100%. And make sure you put in your description where people can go actively follow you.
Mm-hmm.
So like Mrs. Desiree Rose is my handle across the board. And so if people want to follow me, like if they go to certain channels, I'll be like, I'm active here. If you want to like know what's going on with me actively, versus like, I just own this because I don't want people taking, this is what we talk about, the website thing. This all goes back to it. You can control the narrative of your name, or you can let other people do it. By not owning it in all the places, you're letting other people potentially jack up your brand.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I on my end, I've frozen my own chat just because I have some really cool questions here. So one very specific, and then I had an example I just wanted to share. So this person said, should we do a website for a car channel? So this does come down to who's the website for? Are you putting together a portfolio for yourself, or is there something of value you're going to share with your audience on this website? So I pulled up an example here. The first one that popped into my head, if you're looking to buy a car, one of the channels you might find is Your Advocate Alliance. Father-son team, they explain the car buying process, all their content's about buying cars, the chip shortage, everything relevant to car purchasing right now. And their website looks like this. And it's all about helping you purchase a vehicle. There's a lot of value on this website, a lot of resources on this website. If you are someone who's in the market for a new car and you're tired of the haggling, you're tired of the whole process. So there's a lot of reasons for them to have a website and join their mailing list and things like that. It's just very obvious. So is there something like this that you can offer your audience? And if there's not, then you need to target your website towards a different audience. Your website needs to be for, like we talked about earlier, potential sponsors in the future. So focus more on your achievements as a creator, less about the car stuff and more about just you as a creator. And then that would be the reason to have your website. I don't know if anything to add from anyone. Just wanted to show that example.
I'm going to go back to my original thing. Have a website. Is there anything as a base of place where people, as like your home base, your 000 of who you are, what you have to offer, and a way for people to get a hold of you?
Chris Johnson asks, what are the best ways to utilize an email list apart from promoting your uploads and sharing the freebies you make for your audience?
I use my email list. My emails that I send every week is called The Fix, and it's to give you your social media news fix for the week. So I share my videos. It's part of what I do. It's what people can expect. I also will share trends that people can try. Like, hey, this is popular on TikTok. This is popular on Instagram. You should try these. I also give them news. Like, this is going on in the world of social that you should pay attention to. You should know about like why this is happening. And I also do like other tutorials to outside things. I also don't think it's completely unrealistic or to just use your email list for promoting your uploads. But I think you need to make sure that it is presented in a way to help them with their life and give them value with what they have going on. So for example, you want to make like mine isn't sign up for my newsletter so I can send you videos. I want you to watch them because I need the ad dollars and the watch time. Like that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it because they know my emails serve this purpose. So the content that's going to be in here is going to serve that purpose. And I will definitely throw in stuff like my email that went out today. It was about joining my membership so I can review your content for you. I promote my book. Hey, Black Friday is coming up. You're looking for a good holiday book for a woman in your life who might be looking for a little bit of inspiration? Buy my book. You know, if I'm trying to promote a new service I have, like, or a coaching call, I can promote that in my list as well. But I make sure that my wording still supports the mission of my newsletter, my email for the fix, which is to help them grow their business with better social media and content marketing. So you have to just make sure that you're always coming back to your purpose and like why they're contacting them and why they're ending up in that inbox. But your email list exists to promote your stuff, to make money and make sales. If people are not buying, if people unsubscribe, bye Felicia. I don't want people that are not interested in me and my offerings and why I have an offer that can make me money. That is the purpose of your email list, to make you money. End of story.
Yes. However, if you are considering making an email list, the first question you better ask yourself is, why would anyone open the email to begin with? Because as a creator who gets a lot of crap email in his day, let me tell you, there's a bunch of emails I don't even open. I just delete them immediately because I ain't got time for that. So if you're going to make an email list, you better have a damn good reason why I should open it up. And like Desiree said, the main thing is that you have to provide value. So me and Dan, we just did a recent episode of 2 Talk, our vidIQ podcast that we do weekly. And we had Justin Moore on there, and he's a brand deal specialist. He has an email list. And the cool thing about his email list is that he will tell the people that are subscribed to the email list, he has a list of brands that are offering brand deals with influencers in his email list. That is valuable to creators who are trying to make money because now they have a list of brands that they can reach out to potentially work out deals with. And he includes that information in his email list, so it's very valuable to the people on the list. So if you're going to have an email list, you better be providing some value besides promoting yourself, because otherwise, why the hell would I open it? So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about any of you guys, but I like Black Friday because then I see all the people that have my email and all the lists I get to unsubscribe from.
Yes. Yes.
I have been doing that so much over the past week. It's awesome.
Something really feels good when you get when you let your email build up for a second, you go in and just unsubscribe. And then the next week, your email's like crickets.
Yes, it's glorious. My goal is to have almost like only businesses I care about will actually buy from in my promotions box on email. It's like my goal. Sorry, that's like weird. It's like peeling off the front of a phone. Like, it just feels so good to I'm done with you. Get away.
So I want to touch on this channel in a more general sense, but they're asking, let's say you have a channel other than gaming, and when you have a bit of traction, you're thinking about starting a gaming channel. Is that wise? So basically what you're saying is you're covering one thing on YouTube, you're doing well with it, and then you're thinking, well, I would also like to try this other thing on YouTube. Well, I would argue that for two things. One, the traction of the original channel has nothing to do with the traction you might get on the next channel, because it sounds like the two things you're doing might be at odds with each other audience-wise. If you're a cooking channel, but you also like gaming, and you're thinking, boy, I have a lot of traction with this cooking channel, the only thing that's relevant there is the experience you got on YouTube as a cooking channel. The cooking audience very likely will not like the gaming content you're about to do. So if you have the time and you want to start a second channel, don't worry about bringing people from the first channel to the next channel, because that's distracting. If that channel is doing well, you're only going to disrupt that by trying to pull them somewhere else. Like, okay, now I have this other thing I want you to watch now. Build a second channel and treat it as a whole new thing. It has nothing to do. Why do you think it's so annoying? Like, I'm not telling anyone about this secret channel I have. By the way, the channel is not a secret because it has many thousands of subscribers. Plenty of people have found it. It's not you guys because it's not relevant to you guys. It has nothing to do with you guys. And there's no reason for me to take the vidIQ audience to that channel. It's only going to confuse you. It's going to confuse the YouTube recommendation system. I don't need that. Start your second channel. Treat it as its own thing. That's my advice.
There's a question on here from Magic Flying Potato.
I love this name. Where's this person?
It was from 2:07 p.m. Email lists are still confusing me. As a small gaming channel, how would an email list benefit a channel? I guess it's my old school mindset of people using them to spam.
That's totally fair.
Okay, so one of the things that Dan and I kind of mentioned with the email list thing, I personally think that if you can't give something of value to people as a freebie, like a too good to be free offer, as an email, the alternative is to get them to join a membership. So like Dan and I have two very separate objectives with our channels. Like I can't imagine anybody, like I can't imagine us sharing a viewer. Like we have such totally different objectives and demographics. So from a business perspective, when you're entertainment based, which is how I would classify a gaming channel, I would lean into memberships. What we're trying to share and what we're trying to give as the objective is to have a way to communicate with your subscribers outside of YouTube, because you cannot count on YouTube. You can't count on any third-party tool to make sure your content is seen by people that have watched you and care about your content. Once you think about your favorite, like 10 creators, do you watch everything that they make? I love vidIQ. I'm part of the vidIQ team. I don't watch every video that Rob puts out. You know, I'm an advocate for StreamYard. I don't watch every video that StreamYard does. I love Amy Landino. I love the Super Carlin brothers. I love Marcus Brown. I have lots of. I don't watch everything that they make, because maybe when they're making something at a time in my life, I'm at Disney World with my family. Maybe I am taking care of something for my kids. Maybe I'm busy with work. Maybe I just left my phone upstairs to charge because I'm playing with my kids and enjoying my life outside of being a creator. You can't count on me to see everything unless you have a way to communicate with me. But Amy Landino, I'm on her email list, and she sent me an email this morning about a productivity video. And I was like, yes, please. And it published like 3 days ago. Right. So that's why. That is why. So what we're trying to say is make sure you're building a way to communicate with your YouTube audience, the people that have found you and like you. And if they're interested in joining your membership or getting on your email list, they obviously are interested in you beyond the content that they watched of you. They're like, they want more of you. They like you. They want to connect with you and build a relationship with you. Have a way to do that. Have a way to connect and communicate on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So maybe for you as a gaming channel, replace email list with membership.
Discords as well. I mean,
yeah, and Discord.
Gaming people who game, they obviously, you know, they have a Discord. It's just kind of a hand-in-hand thing.
Totally foreign concept to me. So glad you said that.
You know, if you view Slack, it's basically the same concept. It's a chat room that you tailor to your audience. And what's cool about my Discord is that my audience is a place to contact me outside of YouTube. And it's awesome. Like I'm still adding channels to it, because sometimes somebody comes up with an idea like, hey, I think an art channel would be awesome. Like there's a lot of people here who are always sharing their drawings and stuff. So we added an art channel, and a whole bunch of people have been posting in there. A pet channel. Everyone just shares their pets. So now everyone's, not only am I getting to build a relationship with my audience, they're building relationships with each other as well. A lot of gaming channels utilize Discord, and that could be, unless you have an innovative way to use a mailing list as a gaming channel, by all means, go for it. But if you're thinking, how am I supposed to use this emailing list, this awesome tip, maybe it's a Discord, and that can still be valuable to a potential sponsor in the future. Like my Discord has 1,000 members. So how valuable would that be? That's your influence. That is a rating of your influence. So how valuable might that be to a potential sponsor in the future?
Yes.
All right. So I got a question here from Alex Vlog. How to raise the number of impressions of video? I get a max 70 impressions per video. All right. So I don't have access to your channel. I don't know what it looks like, but your vlog channel. So already you are playing at a disadvantage, because if your whole objective is to vlog, how do I say it politely? If people don't know you, they're not going to care about your vlogs. And if you're a new creator just starting out, people aren't going to care. And YouTube is not going to recommend your content out to people because of your vlogging. So if you want to increase your impressions, you have to create your content in such a way where it provides value to a mass audience. So instead of saying something like, I did this today, or this vlog number, I don't know how you title your video, title your videos in such a way that they are teaching viewers how to do something. Or if there's something like in mainstream entertainment going on, Squid Game was a big one, I think, last month. Try to craft your title and thumbnails around something that's happening in the mainstream that you could relate to your vlog or something like that. But it's all about appealing to a broader audience, because I'm guessing the reason why you're not getting impressions is because your content focus is a little bit too narrow, and it's not broad enough to reach the most amount of people. So make it more broad.
I tried to search for Alex Vlogs, by the way, and your channel doesn't come up. There's a lot of Alex Vlogs out there.
Ooh.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just the idea that maybe you're too general with the type of content. Just kind of the name is a little general, and the vlogs you do, one day you're hiking, one day you're cooking, one day you're driving, so try and figure out, yeah, you can vlog, but what's that interesting bit? What's that video about? Is it can still be about you and your experience, but your experience doing what? And would another audience be interested in watching that?
Your name really matters. Like I even changed, I'm looking for Alex Vlogs. I changed it just the channels, and there are so many. Yeah. So one of the things that happened to me when I got married is I had a very popular name all of a sudden. So my maiden name is Desiree Ford, and I got married and my name became Desiree Martinez. And so my new name was very popular. So I had to find a way to create an online presence that wasn't wrapped up in that name. And so I created Mrs. Desiree Rose, and that's my handle everywhere that you find me online. So find a way to maybe change your name so that it can stand out more and separate it, and people can find it easier. Because if we can't find it, it's not working. We can't even help you if we can't find you. And so it's kind of one of those things. I also make sure that you're following some of the standard rules and practices that come with being a YouTuber. Make sure you've got killer thumbnails. Make sure you're following and talking about something that's trendy and relevant and topical for the time. And make sure that your description and your keywords are categorized appropriately as well, so that you can have the best chance for success. And then use other social networks and places to share your content, not like go into Facebook groups and spam people, but like to build interest and stuff.
I typed in Alex Vlogs, and the first result was just a channel named Alex with 800,000 subscribers. So no other Alexes came up after that. So that person's dominating just Alex right now as a search term. So just keep that in mind. And the other reason I pointed it out was because if your channel is just Alex Vlogs, like you might have a very strong channel focus, but it's definitely not represented in your channel name. And so it's maybe that's a through line throughout your content. We don't know because we can't find it. So that's just some things to keep in mind.
I have one.
Yes.
So Bruce Lee Edits, this is at 2:11 p.m. He asked, can you share some strategies on how to use the community tab? What right things to post to engage the audience more? And I don't think that people talk about the community tab enough, so I feel like it was a good one.
I love the community tab.
I love the community tab too. First things first about the community tab. Don't get mad if it's not like blowing up with engagement and growth. I used this example the other day with my team. So the Think Media team posts like every day on their community tab. They have 1.8 million subscribers. They'll get like 278 likes on a post and like 40 to 50 comments, right? So your ratios can get a bit skewed. Does that mean you ignore the community tab? Absolutely not. You just need to make sure that you're putting the content in appropriately so that it can help you with your growth strategies. I find the most successful content on the community tab are polls. Polls are just the easiest way for people to just click a button and then they just keep scrolling in their feed. And the second thing is to create square GIFs of like power statements or questions or things I've said in my videos that I can then share with a post. Like we do that with the Women of YouTube podcast, and vidIQ shares those on the community tab, and it really is really helpful.
So I have a video coming out on this soon. I don't exactly know when, but it's ready. It just needs to be in our flow somewhere, where I talk all about the community tab. And my recommendation, everything Desiree said, like dead on. If you can post daily, because you have a schedule button. So take time out of your week. I take one day out of my week and I schedule a week's worth of posts. And if I'm feeling really inspired, sometimes more, which is great. Your community tab should be on autopilot as far as I'm concerned. Every post is a piece of content, just like a video is a piece of content. So while YouTube originally encouraged everybody, yeah, share some behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. I disagree with that. You can do that once in a while, but your audience is going to see this stuff scrolling through their feed. And if it's relevant to their interests, they're going to interact with it. Versus if it's just, hey, editing my next video and a picture of you with a thumbs up. Okay. You know, are they going to engage with that? Probably not. Leaving awesome tips, polls that are really interesting, and you can use these polls to collect data and influence content as well. All of that is awesome. I in this video I made, I leave some examples, and one I say is if you're a cooking channel or whatever, like no one really cares if you share pictures of your kid's graduation. Like it's a thing happening behind the scenes, but no one's really going to interact with that. But if you're a cooking channel, maybe you're sharing about the food at the party that happens around the graduation, right? So you all leave the place and now someone's grilling something awesome. Now you have a reason to post in a community tab that is relevant to your audience who likes cooking. So always tie it back to your audience and limit the amount of times you post about just you. And this includes posts that are like, what video should I make next? And then you put up a poll. I see people do that all the time, and I don't get this practice at all. You should know what video you're making next. Your audience, you're not going to glean any data from this. If you want valuable data that's going to influence your content, then, you know, think of an interesting question to ask that's actually worth voting on, and then let that feed into whatever video you're making next. Nate from Channel Makers does a great job of this. Go check out some of his polls, because all of these polls end up turning into videos somehow, and they're actually very interesting and fun to engage with.
I think your statement about not knowing what to make next. I did this, and I could back this up. I polled my audience, what social network do you want to know more about? And I got a lot of people that asked about LinkedIn. I did a LinkedIn series on my channel, some of my lowest performing content. So I was trying to make content my audience wanted, totally blew up in my face. But you don't know unless you try. So now I just let vidIQ tell me what videos to make.
See, I wouldn't think that'd be a bad poll though. Like you would think that would yield really good results, because I like that as a poll question. It's kind of like asking what's the social media network you use the least, you know, like what's the one you would like to know more about, and then you do it, and
Dan, we have an SOS here. Somebody trying to get out of their niche. How do I get out of my niche? Ooh. So this has like many layers to it. So I guess we can start at the beginning. How old is your channel? How much content is on your channel? Because if your channel is relatively new and you don't have much content, then it's pretty easy to get out your niche. Just pivot and do something else. If your channel is established though, and you've already established the niche that you are in, but you just don't want to do that stuff anymore, and it might be time to make a new channel and do what you really want to do, because it's going to be kind of hard to pivot people to a new subject area if you spent a lot of time establishing the current subject area. Not to mention the YouTube algorithm is going to give you a hard time doing that too. So this really depends on how old your channel is and how much content you have on the channel and different things like that.
I also think, unless the audience is wildly different, just make the change. My favorite example, I know I've talked about it a couple times. I love Amy Landino. I think Amy Landino is a great creator. She's one of the people that got me on YouTube. Her book, Vlog Like a Boss, was my roadmap when I got started in 2017. And she did it. She had a whole YouTube channel. She talked about social media and video marketing and how to use these things to build a business. And then she made this video, I think, about something like around productivity and planning, like the calendar blocking that she does. And it was hugely successful. And she loves that kind of stuff. And she just made the pivot. She's like, I do this now. And it happened to be in sync with getting married. So she was able to change her name, which gave her kind of a little bit of the freedom, I'm air quotes, freedom to change her content. And so now she talks about good morning, good life, how to live your best life, productivity, calendar blocking. But she's got easily, like, I want to say at least eight years of backlog content, all about social media and video marketing. And she just made the hard pivot. And at the time, she had, I think, built it up to maybe the under 100,000 mark. And now she has over 400,000 subscribers. So she pivoted with what brought her joy and just made that hard. That she was just like, I do this now. Deal with it. This is my channel. This is what I want to do with it. and we all have to either live or not live with your content.
It's that hard pivot. I was gonna say the same thing. It's not obviously not that story that's unique to you, but I was gonna say the same thing in terms of the hard pivot, because I have an old gaming channel that I left behind in the dust, 44,000 subscribers or something thereabouts. And I had tried so many different things on it. I lost interest in that style of content. It was easier for me to make a new channel, but if I were to try and resurrect that channel today, I would look at the 44,000 subscribers and the legacy of views and content, and I would say none of that exists anymore. Those subscribers are gone, because as far as the YouTube recommendation system goes, yeah, probably are. And as far as the legacy content, I would make a decision on whether to keep it or not. But ultimately, I would just commit to whatever that new thing you want to do is, and commit fully. Pretend this has always been what my channel's about. This is the thing I'm going to do now, and don't waver from that. Especially if you've done the research, you know there's an audience for this, you're all about it. So I would say it's never easy. There's going to be attrition. There will be people who are not into what you're doing now. They will leave. It's nothing personal. It's okay. That is their right, and that there's nothing against you. It's just their interests. So commit to the pivot. That's what I would say.
Love it.
All right. So many good questions here. So many long questions. Trying to see these here.
Ooh, I got one for you, Dan. Tutorial Mac wants to know, is it even possible to get product-driven sponsorships if your channel does not involve talking at all?
Maybe.
You just have to present them with the idea of what you'd want to do, not like, hey, come sponsor me. It would be like, hey, I have this idea and this is what I want to do, and I would love to feature your product as a part of this. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely communicate, because there was one sponsor I dealt with that had a script. Like they wanted an actual, like, this is what you need to say. Obviously that wouldn't work in your case. So you need to be very open about your plan, but come in with a plan. Don't let the person on the other end of that conversation think too hard about what it is you're saying. Be very clear about your goal, clear about the type of channel you have. If there's no talking in the channel, how will you approach that? That's your job as the creator to figure that out. But it could work. It just depends on the company, their campaign, and their goals.
Maria B at 214 asked for Dan or Desiree, does it sometimes take months for the YouTube algorithm to blow up a video? I've been posting 3 times a week, and I started in August at 880 subs. I wanted to answer this because of this very specific point. My channel has never blown up. Sometimes it doesn't blow up. Sometimes it's just this acceleration upward of growth. And it's frustrating. Like I said, it took me 18 months to get my first 1,000 subscribers. So you're ahead of me. And I did 3 videos a week and when I was doing that. And it's just, I would study your analytics and really dig into like what is working and make more of that, while also paying attention to what's trending in your industry or niche, so that you can make more content to support it. So many people just want to blow up. Are you ready to blow up? Like, that's the question I have. Like, are you ready to blow up? Like, what happens if you blow up? What's you going to do with it? You ready? Do you have an email opt-in? Do you have a membership set up? Do you have a way to capture all those people? Are you ready?
She asking the hard questions. Ooh.
Yeah, you don't need to blow up, guys. You just need to have growth. Like, I hate the Mr. B shout outs. I hate them. I think they are the worst thing anyone could have happened to their channel, because all it's doing is helping people get subscriber counts.
Yep.
And then they all just going to fall off and not care. And it's just how it works. Like, there's no way every time Mr. Beast talks about a channel that everyone's just going to care. And it makes me furious. And I just don't think he's helping anybody by doing that kind of stuff. But everyone's like, oh, do you want it? I'm like, no, I don't want it, because those children are not going to care about my content and growing a business.
I would argue that, just like the argument I made earlier about having a second channel, like if you were to get a whole bunch of an influx of new viewers on one video because one person with a massive following shouts you out, that hurts you. If especially if that audience has no reason to commit to your content, and a lot of times they don't. So you get, let's say, so as the vidIQ audience, an audience of creators looking to grow on YouTube, if I gave you the link to my gaming channel and you also said, oh, I like Dan, I'll subscribe, but you didn't watch a single video of mine, the YouTube recommendation system could very well look at all of you and go, wow, a lot of YouTube creator folks seem to really like this gaming channel, and now they're recommending my videos to you that you're not clicking on. What does that do to my metrics? What does that do to my whole channel?
That 100% that.
Yeah. I don't need that.
No.
Dan's like, I don't want that smoke. Get stay with me.
Yeah. So you want the right audience for your channel. There's people who come into our chat all the time and they're like, look at me, look at my channel. Like, no one here wants to look at your channel, and you don't want them to either. You don't.
You want people that want to watch. Rely on search, rely on recommendations. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind if my friends and family watch my videos.
Not at all.
I appreciate the support. At least they're watching.
Yeah.
But like subscribing isn't doing anything for anybody. Y'all gotta stop worrying about subscribers.
Yeah, it's the same reason. It's the same reason in the vidIQ Discord we get rid of any people in there who are coming in just to spam their videos, because again, it's not your audience. They're not there to watch your content. They're there to grow their own YouTube channels. They're not coming to hear about you. So you want to make videos for your audience. Create an avatar for your channel. Don't just go into someone else's community and try and get their audience, because even if it works, what's your end game here? Because you're not going to keep these people engaged. All right. We got to put our soapboxes away.
Look on that face, though.
No, I like my soapbox. I got so many soapboxes.
Just behind that screen, they're just stacked up.
The money. It is. That's all it is. Behind there's a pile of money.
All right. So we got a question from Star Craven. Do you have advice for a musician trying to grow their channel, posting variety content, and also their own music?
Ooh, sounds like an and more situation.
You know, I think honestly, you should be teasing content on TikTok and Reels and directing things to YouTube. And then, and without sounding terrible, asking the question, is YouTube the right place for you? And I say that because I've been tracking this for a while, and I feel like music is I think YouTube's a great place for musicians. Once you have an established audience, you need to build an audience first. And I really feel the best place to build a musical audience right now is TikTok, and then repurposing to Reels, and maybe even doing YouTube Shorts. Like I could even argue that one as well. Okay. But I think a lot of the objectives is to build an audience in the community and get them like listening on Spotify and that kind of stuff. And then once you have an established group, then turning to YouTube, then, okay, how can I use YouTube as another income stream, as another community platform for growth and stuff?
Okay. Normally we don't do this. Normally we don't do this on this particular live stream, but I'm going to help you out real quick. Your avatar is not it, Chief. I would suggest you put an actual picture of your head there, or of some type of headshot, or hell, if you don't want to put your guitar. Instrument, something. Whatever that is, the iOS emergency SOS thing. I don't know why you have that there, but change your avatar.
I'd say focus. I mean, you're a musician trying to grow your channel, but you're posting, you said variety content and also your music. It sounds to me like you have a vlog channel. And then I would be going down the rabbit hole of like, well, how do vlog channels grow? Like, and so maybe you can do all of these things on your channel, but there needs to be, you need to be doing things again that appeal to a specific audience. So if it's just you vlogging about your life and sometimes you play songs and things like that, that's not, there's a disconnect there between you and whoever that content's for. So if there's a challenge you can do that a lot of people are doing, maybe that can come into play. Maybe there's challenges that music channels take on, like, trying to play a song as fast as you can or something like that. There has to be a connection to an audience there, because if you just start a vlog channel and you're just doing stuff, there's no focus. You got to sit down and have that exercise of like, who is this content for?
A really good example is Sick Kick Music. If you go check out his YouTube channel, he has 3 million subscribers and he does shorts. And then he's a DJ. So does a lot of like really great mixes while he also sings and stuff. And so you'll see a really good blend of his mixes and things that he's had done really successfully with the shorts and the clips. And a lot of his traffic comes from like TikTok and Reels. And then he repurposed them into shorts. It's really a great testament of like how you can use social to build out something different. He like a lot of if his call to actions are like, go check me out on Spotify and stuff.
But by just looking at the thumbnails alone, I know they're shorts, but I'm gonna just look at the thumbnails alone. I know what I'm getting from this channel. Like everything is in this, everything about this. I know exactly what I'm coming back for. I'm not seeing any videos of them going out and skateboarding, or and doing other things that they enjoy doing. They might have a separate channel for that, for all I know. But as a fan of this channel, like I know what I'm gonna get every single time as a subscriber. A good call out there. It looks like we did just get a super chat. Thank you so much for your super chat. Been watching since 2019. Appreciate all the help and techniques. Thank you so much. Certainly nothing. We have no requirements for that or reason to give a super chat. We just really appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep looking. We have a little bit more time for some questions. All right, I'm going to refresh my chat here because it's kind of old.
Here's one at 223. Poggy Plays. His question is shorts the target for YouTube right now, or should we not use shorts for an audience?
Oh, shorts are definitely the target for YouTube. YouTube is pretty much going all in on short. Now, will that serve your audience? That's another matter entirely.
I use shorts to augment my long form content. What shorts has been a kind of a blessing for me because it allows me to have these easy, quick ways to make tutorials. Like I put one up yesterday, it was like how to do an Instagram collaboration with Reels, and so it makes it easy ways to augment my long form content. So that's how I have integrated it into my strategy, but I still apply the same tactics. Like it's a searchable title with keywords. I create thumbnails for them. That way, if someone comes to my channel, they can see the thumbnail that entices them into what they're looking for and stuff. So I think that if you're not doing them and it just feels like an extra burden and thing you have to do, don't bother. Like you're good.
Yeah.
If something you want to experiment with, if you want to try it, looking for a new way to get new people in and views and stuff, definitely worth trying.
Definitely. And if just grab by the name Plays, I'm assuming you might be a gaming channel. I mean, find a way that works for you. A lot of what I noticed is that certain games, because gaming shorts are really popular, certain games are being underserved. There is real estate on the short shelf, depending on what you're doing. So Minecraft is the example I always use. There's no real estate left for a Minecraft Shorts channel, right? There's so many Minecraft Shorts uploaded probably every minute that like it's so hard to stand out. But if you're covering a game that is underserved and there's an audience, generally speaking, for that game, you might find that you're standing out, So, but then if you're struggling to think, well, what would my content even look like in this format? Like Desiree said, if it's too much of a burden, you don't have to do it. It's another tool. Just like you don't have to live stream. You don't have to use the community tab. These are tools that YouTube gives you. They're optional. They're all optional. Do what works for you, what makes sense for you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Both of you. What is a feature that YouTube has that you don't use?
Stories.
A way to have the answer ready.
Stories. It's stories. I pretty much use everything else. And premieres, but I've been wanting to test that more.
Yeah, I have not. I don't really use shorts anymore. I've never done a premiere, and I don't use clip.
There you go.
So, I mean, optional. I've tested stories. I see the value of them, but they don't really work for me. It was extra. Setting those up was extra work, and it made more sense to spend that time doing something else.
All right, I want to tackle this one real quick. So, Chiche asked, what brand should you reach out to as a YouTuber with 4K subs? All of them. As many as you can. That doesn't mean you're going to get any feedback or answer, but at the very least, you put yourself on their radar. The other thing that I would suggest you do is if you do want to work with a particular brand and you reached out or you try reaching out and they don't reach back out to you, if you have like something or a product or service that you're using from that brand and you want that brand to notice you, take a picture or take a video and put it on social media and tag the brand in that clip or picture. So that way, that's another way to get you on that brand's radar. But absolutely, at 4K subs, you should reach out to you. I mean, you could and you should reach out to all the brands you want to reach out to. Again, that doesn't mean they're going to respond, but there's nothing wrong with reaching out and trying to get yourself on their radar.
What 5%?
I think this is Alex Vlogs again, but they changed their name already. That was quick.
Quick.
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's definitely unique.
So Alexopedia asks, does the YouTube algorithm reward you for uploading 4 times a week instead of 2? This is not a simple answer. In some cases, you could argue yes, because you've taken double the amount of shots at the target every week, right? But in some cases, no. I mean, does it reward you to make content that's half the quality of the content you were making before? Because that's what that could represent. So you gotta, it's all a balancing act. You can have a successful channel where you upload once a week. You can have a successful channel where you upload once a day. It's all, again, it comes down to you. What can you do, you know, in your life? Like what would keep you from uploading more? When does it make sense to upload less? We can't really answer that for you, but the algorithm itself, the mystical algorithm, doesn't really care. Look at Mark Rober uploading once a month. I mean, there's no punishment for that. There's only one Mark Rober, and YouTube knows, like, this guy makes quality stuff. I'm going to put it right in the recommendation feed because the fans of it are going to watch. It doesn't matter when it comes out.
Yep. All right, I think we got time for maybe 1-2 more questions, and then we got a bid y'all to do.
All right. Let's quietly look for questions.
You need like the music sound, like the Jeopardy or something while we look.
All I got is this.
That's funny.
It's not helpful.
All right, let me go check out Guido real quick. Guido says, how do you get your target audience when your niche is saturated?
No niche is saturated. You just haven't found the specific enough way to present it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would almost argue that it doesn't really matter who's in your niche, because your target audience is solely up to you. Who are you as an individual trying to reach when you put your videos out there? That's more important than whether or not a niche is saturated. If you have a person that you're trying to reach, or you see a hole in the field that you feel like you can fill that gap, go do it. Get it done.
Yeah, I mean, do some research. If you know the niche so well, go out and find the creators that are just killing it. What can you bring that's different? What's your approach to this that's different? On my personal channel, the niche I'm in, one would argue is saturated. One would look at the sheer amount of channels alone that cover the same thing I cover, but you would see the difference. Like, this person here has a different approach than this person there. And if you start to study these channels, you notice the clear differences between person A, B, C, D, and E. Like, everyone has their own approach.
Just a reminder.
Not an easy thing to do. Sorry.
Just a reminder to all of y'all in the chat right now. If we reach 2 million subs by the end of the year, Dan is going to reveal his new channel that he doesn't want anybody to know
do
about.
that. I'm promising that.
You're committed to it now.
I literally didn't say. I said, no, I'm not making that bet. You can't will this.
Why not? I don't understand. I think it's like a super reasonable thing, honestly.
It's kind of like shave my eyebrows. Will it hurt that bad? No, probably not. But do I want to do it? No. I'm not giving it a peer pressure. Get out of here. My eyebrows are too big. If I shave them, I'll look ridiculous.
It's so funny.
I already look ridiculous. They're so big. Maybe I should
They're
shave them.
distinguished.
All right. Here. Is it a bad idea to combine multiple niches, especially with gaming? For example, a gaming channel with animated stories about working in gaming. It's very interesting. I like that second idea. A gaming channel that does animated stories about working in gaming is super original, and I wouldn't clutter that with anything else if it were me.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I would. You know what I would do? I would game on my own time as a hobby to decompress after a long day of animating, or start a live streaming channel. You can do a soft call to action of it in one of your animated videos. Like, by the way, I live stream on this channel now. Start a secondary channel dedicated to live streaming, or maybe just gaming content in general. Again, it represent a second channel. A lot of people use Twitch. They do one thing on YouTube and another thing on Twitch. But I would separate these things. You have a really good idea. I would not mix in something that's like not as original, that is to say, let's play content. That'd be my suggestion.
Love it.
Yep.
And with that,
on that note,
we got
every time. So shout out to all of you all for being here today. Thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. We always love seeing you guys every Tuesday and Wednesday out there. Here, we appreciate you guys showing up to learn about YouTube and learn how to grow and rock with vidIQ. And if you haven't checked out vidIQ, or for whatever reason you're not a subscriber, check the link in the description. Check out vidIQ. It's absolutely free for you to try out and see if it's something that you can rock with. Like Dan always says, we have a whole suite of tools that you can use to help learn and grow on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And also shout out to Miss Desiree Rose over there for joining us on the live stream. Appreciate you being here. So thank you.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I love talking to y'all. I don't ever have anyone to nerd out about YouTube with.
It is, you know, if I would encourage anyone out there, join these communities, find people to talk YouTube with. You learn a lot just from having conversations about this. So, like a lot of people have this problem where their family and friends don't talk to them about YouTube. They don't have any interest. Find people that have these interests because it keeps you going as a creator. It's really, really valuable.
You know, it's a good thing that I find this helpful. And you can look on Facebook for these. I don't know. Again, I'm old, so I use Facebook. Looking for like city creator groups, like YouTubers of Las Vegas, like that. Like Sean Cannell started that. So there's a Facebook group for YouTubers in Las Vegas. You know, there's Michigan creators. They have different cities can do it. And if you don't have one, you can always make one and find them.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's super cool. Like a way to find people. Go to conferences too. It's another way. Or be really cool and like connect with your fellow people in the chat that you've been talking to, and then you guys can nerd about YouTube together.
vidIQ Discord, full of creators just like you.
That one.
All right.
And hold on. Go listen to the Women of YouTube podcast.
Yes, of course.
I don't care if you're not a woman. You will get a lot of value from these women's stories because they're breaking down how they got on YouTube, how they found success, advice for you. We talk about money. We talk about business. We got some really killer ones coming up that you guys are going to love. We got some great ones that we've had, like for gamers. We interviewed the gaming grandma. We've talked to a lot of really cool creators. So womenofyoutube.com.
Yeah, Shirley Curry. You talked to Shirley Curry, and I've known Shirley for a while. I'm still envious that you got to talk to Shirley because she's amazing. Gaming grandma plays Skyrim, about to hit 1 million. If she hasn't already, she's about to hit 1 million subscribers playing Skyrim, and she knows Skyrim too. It's not a gimmick. Like, oh man.
No, she role plays through it. Like that's the cool part for me. Like she doesn't play the story; she role plays through it. I think that's neat.
Yeah, original approach as well. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. All right, so Desiree's channel is linked down below. Women of YouTube podcast, womenofyoutube.com. Please check that out. Desiree, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
All right. See you, everybody. Have a good one.